She was certain she had seen this man before, and more to the point, she was convinced the circumstances of their meeting had not been pleasant. The usual announcements were made. The plane moved out onto the asphalt strip and waited for instructions to take off. Then they were high in the air, far above the still somber clouds, with a subdued roar of the engines in the background to induce sleepiness. Although Anna fought the desire to sleep, she finally did close her eyes. Even then, she was still haunted by visions of the familiar face so close to her. Of course, she had no idea where she might have met him, or why she should connect the meeting with some dreadful trouble. In all probability, she had never seen him before in her life, and this feeling of fear was nonsensical. It was an odd story with her to have these sudden panics when encountering strangers. People and places had given her the same eerie sensations often. It had made her draw on her meager savings as an office secretary to consult a fairly expensive psychiatrist. He was a roly-poly little man with a bald head and innocent smile. In the proper costume, he might have served as a middle-aged stand-in for Cupid. Yet seated at his wide mahogany desk in his impressive downtown office and clothed in a dark gray business suit, Dr. Walter Lerner proved to have a surprising understanding of what made the average human behave as he did. His moon face had beamed as he stared at her through thick glasses. "Put it down to the fact you are an orphan," the psychiatrist advised. Anna's pert oval face had worn a troubled expression. She was 23, reasonably pretty, with shoulder-length black hair framing a delicate cast of features with milk-white skin on that winter afternoon more than a year ago. "Sometimes I'm certain I must be on the brink of insanity," she'd protested. Dr. Lerner shook his head slowly. "I have seldom met anyone more sane than yourself, my dear." "But the obsession that I have met people before," she said, leaning forward in her chair anxiously. "The certainty I have that unfamiliar places are known to me. Surely you can't call these normal." "Not normal," he agreed, "but understandable. They can be traced back to your childhood. You're reaching out for someone belonging to you and the frustration of it never happening. Your hopes that each stranger might turn out to be one of your lost loved ones that gave you a false feeling of recognition whenever a new face appeared." "But the Woodleys adopted me when I was very young. I had a family from then on." "What age were you when they first told you that you were not Jane's true sister?" She considered. "Just after I graduated and began business school. And they did it only out of kindness. They felt they owed me the truth. I can never hold it against them. In fact, they felt bad for doing it." The pudgy man raised a calming hand. "I'm not suggesting they did anything that was not entirely proper." "Well then," she said. Dr. Lerner placed his fingertips together and studied her thoughtfully. "Yet wasn't it only after you received this information you began to experience these unusual feelings?" Anna realized this was true, yet she was reluctant to accept too easy a solution to a quandary that had so alarmed her. "Perhaps that's so," she said. "But from the time I've been a little girl, there has been the sleepwalking to contend with." "Again, a problem of tortured nerves," he said. "The strains of the orphanage probably would not have told on a more rugged and sensitive child. But you happen to be a person of extreme sensitivity. It is written all over you, even in your petite stature. For you, this sort of beginning was a nightmare." She smiled wryly. "So I found my way out of it by becoming a somnambulist." He shrugged. "Sleepwalking is curable. Indeed, it is rarely a thing that endures through one's entire life. Relieve the strains and tension, and the sleepwalking ends, as a rule." Anna looked down at the carpeted floor. "As a child, it set me apart, made me feel different. I can still remember the terror on Jane Woodley's face the first time she woke me from one of my sleepwalking journeys to the living room downstairs." "The somnambulist offers a..."